Though Indian law is in very much favor of the employee, in case if you breach any of the code of conduct, company can deny you the experience letter. Hello my dear professionals, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing few scenarios where companies deny the experience letter to an employee. Though Indian law is in very much favor of the employee, that no employer can deny an experience letter to their employees unless they have done something really serious and which has harmed the image of the company or something which is in conflict of interest. So today I'll share a few scenarios in which if you do not take enough care, you can land yourself in trouble unknowingly. So watch this video to avoid all those troubles so that you're aware that in what situations things can go wrong, because ultimately your experience letter is everything when it comes to switching to the next company. And also I'll share a bonus tip towards the end that will save you in a scenario when the company is likely to deny you the experience letter. So stay till the end. On that note, let's get started. So the base that companies use to deny experience letter to employees is mostly basis on the code of conduct. Code of conducts are few protocols, or you can say rules that are expected to be followed by employees, and every single employee in the company, no matter at what position or role they are supposed to follow that protocol. And if somebody breaches that becomes the breach of code of conduct. And code of conduct has several conditions in it, and every employee signs that document once they join the company. So by signing that document of code of conduct and saying that yes, you will abide by all those rules and protocols, you have given some power away to the employer that in case if you breach any of the code of conduct, company can deny you the experience letter. So let's start discussing one by one what those code of conducts are and how it impacts you getting your experience letter. And on number one is earning at the cost of company's brand. So in simple language, this means that you're using the brand name of the company to influence somebody to give you money for any service or something else. Basically, you're using your power or position at the company to earn some money. For example, where you have some tools which you have access to, like company has provided you some tools, some exclusive tools which are paid versions, and you're trying to monetize those tools somewhere else, as in you gave your login to someone else who is earning through that or doing their stuff, or maybe you have shared the login with your spouse and the spouse is using that tool to do their job or business, or maybe you started monetizing your skill of that tool outside in the market. And another example for this can be if you are at a position where you give approvals for a lot of vendor empanelments. Vendor can be anybody who is associated with you, with your company, and is kind of providing you some service. It can be services through their people, or it can be services through their tools or something of that sort. And you are kind of trying to use your position in the company to influence that person or that vendor to give you some extra money so that you approve their connection with the company. So this kind of work is really criticized in any company and is not encouraged. And the moment a company finds out about this one, first, they'll straight away seize the employment. Second, they can also deny the employment letter because the employee have breached a very important code of conduct, and this is not acceptable at all. Second on the list is leaking of information unintentionally. See, intentionally we all are aware that we do not have to leak out important information of the company which is related to trademarks or maybe related to software upgrades or something which can damage company's brand and their earning potential in the market. But sometimes people get into this unintentionally. I'll give you one example here. Say for example, you are working in any tech company, say Google itself, and you have a friend with whom you share your room, as in you are kind of roommates, and that person is working in a competitor company, say for example Microsoft, and Google is about to launch some product which is not yet out there in the market. Nobody knows about it. Google has kept it undercovered and the things are not even registered yet, not trademarked yet, not patented yet fully. and you share that information casually with your friend, not with an intention to breach any policy. You're just kind of chit-chatting with your friend, your day-to-day, your struggles, how you're working in the R&D, all that stuff. And that friend, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, just to get some promotion in the company, in Microsoft, he or she, if shares the same information inside their company and they built something like that before Google and get it registered and patented, you have no idea how much money and image Google will lose in such case. One single reveal, even if it is unintentional, in such cases, it's a total loss for the employee, and one must not indulge into sharing official stuff which is so sensitive and confidential with their roommates casually. One must not do that. But in such cases, absolutely, company can deny whatever they want to, because it's a huge loss. Company can even drag that person to the court, and then there will be no way out. Next on the list is your past dual employment. Now, we all know about dual employment. If you are working in a company and you right now, while working with your current company, if you are doing a full-time job somewhere else, also that will be dual employment. Company can fire you for those reasons and can deny you experience certificate. But did you know the company can also do the same if they figure out that you have done dual employment in the past? Because that also comes under code of conduct, which means you have withheld some information which was related to your joining, and something which was not ethical, and on those grounds company can for sure ask you to leave, one, and number two, that it can deny you the experience certificate because you have breached the code of conduct. Obviously, it will give you some closure. The company will give you some closure in that case, but it will be a closure. It will be the case closure where they'll mention that you were employed from so and so date in the company, but it will also mention that you were asked to leave from the company because of dual employment reason and you have breached the code of conduct. So that letter, if you show as well, will not serve you much purpose. It will act against you. Next on the list is a very obvious one, which is if you have faked any document, information, education, degree on basis of which you got that offer. In that case, if company figures out that that base thing was kind of fake, that base experience on which you got the job was fake, they can totally ask you to leave, and they can also deny you the experience certificate. And on number 5 is a reason which is not a breach of any code of conduct. Sometimes some companies, or I should say some people, want to intentionally disturb the career progression of a person. It can happen if you have a very arrogant manager, if you are not in good terms with your manager, if that manager is quite egoistic and takes everything personal, he or she can try to manipulate how HRs give you the relieving. It does happen. I know it's very sad and it's not fair for the employee, but I as a HR cannot deny the fact that I have seen such cases happening where somebody tries to manipulate how they're exiting from the company. So my request to you guys, I've already done a video on this as well, where I've talked about red flags when you should decide to leave a company, and do decide to leave before it gets really late. And the bonus tip that I talked about in the beginning is that if you find yourself stuck in such a situation where you feel that experience letter can be a problem in this company and you are hunting a job, when you are about to get the offer letter, or the moment you get the offer letter, try to ask for a loan approval letter from your HR. Send an email to the HR asking, can you give me an employment proof letter for my loan request? Because it's true that bank do ask employment verification, you can say, or employment confirmation letters from the companies when an employee applies for any loan. So in that, the company has to specifically mention that from which date to which date employee is here, what's the compensation, and how's everything going, basically in 2-3 lines. So if you have that letter on company's letterhead signed by the HR with you, you are at least safe. You have something with you to prove that you were an employee of any company, and tomorrow if they deny you any experience letter, you can prove your authenticity with this kind of letter. It will have date and everything, and if later if they deny, you can tell your future company, see, this is a employment proof letter that I just got like a few days ago or 1 month ago, and now the company is denying for whatever reason. You have at least something in your hands. So make sure that you are not trapped in any of such situation. You leave way before things get messy. Do watch that video, and also be aware and do not do anything, do not take any shortcut which might ruin your career forever, because the world is very small. You never know how things are going to come back to you and in what way. So that was it, guys, for today's videos. These were few things that I wanted to share with you to bring up to your notice, so that you always work safely in your career and you do not land in any trouble as a viewer of the corporate diaries. With that, guys, I came to the end of this video. If you have any more queries, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. With that, I'm signing off. You keep on watching more content on the corporate diaries to be corporate ready, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye.